Hey, it's Nate with Pulse PEMF and the PulseCast, and I'm joined by Jason White with Bimini Hydrotherapy, and I'm really excited about this interview. I've been preparing, doing some research on this, and I think this is going to speak to a lot of people. We're also going to talk about, at the end of this interview, on how you can stack pulse with this groundbreaking, exciting modality. Jason, thank you so much for joining
Thanks
this.
for having me, man.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. Now, you are co-founder,
Yep.
and there's a really cool origin story that I read on the website, and I would just love for you to share that with our viewers first.
Yeah. So it's a father-son founder. So me and my dad went into business and started this. So our background was in product development. So we were using different technologies, additive manufacturing, 3D printing to help people bring designs to life. So we're out of Houston. So we were working with NASA, Methodist Hospital, Dell Computers, and helping all their new product development designs. And we had a doctor approach us with this nanobubble generator and said, "Hey, I've got this device. Can you help me make improvements to it?" And so we did that. Next day, we had a new device printed out, ready to go.
Wow.
And so he started with agricultural wastewater treatment, a lot of fish farms. And so there's a lot of industrial use cases on just improving the quality of water.
Okay.
And then we found out by doing a few swimming pools and having our own test system in our office, we started getting people in the water. My dad was the first one. And this is before we set up Bimini and the whole company, as we were just making these devices for these people. And he had this bad plantar fasciitis problem, and he couldn't walk for like a few weeks. He said, "I got to do something with this." He saw doctor after doctor. He started getting in, doing baths with these oxygen nanobubbles. So pretty much what we're doing is, in your existing bathtub, you can turn it into an oxygen nanobubble delivery system. So we're using
Love that.
using water to deliver oxygen into the body.
I'm here for
through
that.
your
Yes.
skin and extremities. So
Yes.
bypassing the lungs and all that. So we started calling it the Fountain of Youth, because he's like, "I feel like I'm 30 years younger." He's 60, 65 now. He was 60 at the time. And he was like, "I feel like I'm 30 years younger. I can get back on the basketball court, start playing again." He goes, "I think we got something here. If you can help, we can help me walk. And I feel like we can help others, around the country walk." And so we set out and formed Bimini. We came up with the name because he kept calling it the Fountain of Youth. So we went down the rabbit hole of, good names for Fountain of Youth. And we came across Ponce de Leon's story of trying to find the mythical islands of Bimini out in the Caribbean. And while we say Ponce de Leon never, found the Fountain of Youth, we created it with our oxygen nanobubbles. So
I was going to ask you how you came up with that name. So thank you for.
Yeah. So it just ran right into that.
Yes, it did. So on a cellular level,
Yeah.
what is happening when someone gets in a Bimini?
So you soak in water. So we're using water as the transport medium for these oxygen nanobubbles, and they're about 2,500 times smaller than your skin pore. So we're getting 300 millions of these bubbles per milliliter of water. So it's highly concentrated.
Wow.
And so you're soaking, and then you're using the osmotic pressure of water is flowing into the skin and getting into the bloodstream in the soft tissue. So at first, we had a lot of pro athletes using it because they saw soft tissue improvement. So say they were coming off a hamstring, ACL injury, they were recovering much faster because we have 30 trillion cells in the body, and all of them need ample amounts of oxygen to pretty much function and do what they need to do best.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So at the pro level, they're trying to optimize their bodies so that they can compete. Our first big customer was Gabby Thomas with the U.S. Olympics.
Wow.
And so she was gearing up for the Olympics before the summer of 2024, started training with it. And she just saw her times were faster. She was recovering much faster. So that oxygen is getting into the cells and replenishing much faster on a cellular level. So when you talk about Pulse PEMF charging the body and then oxygenating, we have a doctor whose core thing is OWL, like oxygen, water, and light. So you get oxygen in the body, water, light, pulse frequencies. And when you give the body what it needs to perform, it does a great job healing itself.
It does.
And so that's our main base, is we created this tool to help oxygenate your body so it can pretty much heal itself. And so when you stack these with other modalities like Pulse PEMF, that's when you get these amplified effects and benefits.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
So since oxygen is such a central part of life, the benefits list is probably pretty long.
Yeah. So we started with soft tissue injury, and that's where we thought the focus was going to be. And now it's gone to so many other avenues that we didn't even imagine at the time, from Alzheimer's to neuropathy, which is a tough condition when you have limited blood flow. And we're having a lot of good success with neuropathy,
Wow.
skin conditions, because the oxygen has a detoxifying effect as well.
Mhm.
And so a lot of these rashes, eczema, psoriasis, skin conditions stem from internal problems.
Yes.
And so when we're able to detox the body to a certain degree, those skin conditions go away. So we had a bunch of cases where they either had some foot fungus, atopic dermatitis, where they had the rashes all over the body. They went to every dermatologist, so tried to get steroid creams, nothing helped. And he did 2 baths and it was completely gone. And
Come on.
now it's like we say, it's a way of life. So,
Yes.
there's certain conditions where it's going to help and it's going to be gone for good. But for the most part, you have to do it every 3 to 4 days, keep those cells oxygenated so the body can continue to replenish itself.
So you mentioned the everyday person and the athlete.
Athlete, yeah.
So really, there's no bias here. It's
Yeah.
for anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Exactly. So it's for, and we're trying to make it as affordable as possible. Right now, our home unit's about $300 a month. So trying to get the pricing down, because when we created this technology, it was about like 20,000 our first system, which was used in universities for the big underwater treadmills.
Yep.
And so they got in like 12 athletes at a time and they would oxygenate. So they were able to kind of get these guys back on the field faster.
Wow.
And they saw just more pep in their step. Their grades started getting better because there's that mental clarity.
Yes. Yep.
We can talk about the brain as well.
Yeah, anytime
Another
there's
side-
something affecting you physically, it's going to affect you mentally and emotionally as well.
And the brain itself is like an oxygen sponge. So it's only 2% of the body mass, but it consumes 20% of all the oxygen we intake. So
Wow.
making sure that the brain is consistently oxygenated is a big plus. Going down from football players getting micro concussions in between games so that they can extend their careers and have a longer life afterwards, obviously, to the student athlete that's got a course load and athletics, to where he's like, man, I've got to hit these grades. And one of our partners is Rice University, which they're academically like a really tough school. And so all their student athletes, there's 85% at the facilities training, but then they have to still make this insane course load. And so they're seeing their grades are improving because they're getting better quality of sleep. And when you oxygenate
Yep.
and get your body ready for sleep, that's when it heals.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 different devices. Is that
Yeah,
right?
right now we have our Eco, which is for your home bathtub. People use it also for foot tubs. We're finding that you don't have to actually fully submerge. You can also oxygenate through your lower extremities and get the same benefits for the people that are older, can't get into bathtubs,
Okay.
those sort of things. We have our Pro that's mainly for athletic facilities, underwater treadmills. And then we have our NanoJet immersion tub, which has all our technology built into a tub.
And it has like lights and
Yeah, it's got lights. It's got ozone.
That was the one I was like, oh, I want that in my house.
Yeah, it's got ozone. We're going to be adding hydrogen. So there's a few other things we're doing. And then we have some travel units coming out.
Oh,
where
right.
these athletes, like Derrick Henry is one of our big athletes. He plays in the NFL and he wants to be able to travel with it in between games. So he loves taking baths, and now he's adding oxygen to his bath.
Come on.
And he's in especially a lot of guys that are in their year 5, 6, 7, 8 in the league. It's giving them like a fresh burst. They're like, hey, I feel like I'm back in college. Like, I feel like my body I don't have those ailing, injuries that are, causing me to like feel like I'm slowing down. So it's giving them a new, burst to their career.
Absolutely. So let's talk frequency and duration.
Yeah.
How long is a high?
So for us, times, the biggest thing is it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for the oxygen to kind of start getting into the tissues.
Okay.
So we recommend a 20-minute to 45-minute bath
Okay.
or soak, up to an hour if there's like a major injury present. We've had people do 2 hours. I mean, we pretty much peak at an hour from what we've seen from our Moxie and Nonin test, where we're registering the oxygen levels in your muscle and your brain. And then temperature 80 to 98 degrees. So you don't want it too cold where people are begging to get out. And you don't want it too hot where you're dehydrating the body. So a comfortable, warm bath is what we say.
Absolutely.
And then so say you do a session. Some of our athletes are doing every other day. Like a lot of our NBA guys that are constantly on the road, they'll do a session the night of the game because it helps them get to sleep and start healing. And then they'll do another session right before the game.
Okay.
So they'll do back-to-back nights. And then some of our NFL guys will do every other day. And then especially the day before a game, because if you do it the day before competition, you're getting pretty much a delayed lactic acid buildup, so they can go longer into like the fourth quarter without getting tired. So they have like for our Olympic athletes, they feel like they can run longer because their tissues are all oxygenated. So like a 24-hour session before competition is ideal for these, competing athletes. And then for the everyday person, depends on the condition. So we have some people do every 4 or 5 days, some people do every 3, some people do every 2. Really depends on kind of what they're going through, what the chronic condition is.
Sure.
Um, and like for neuropathy, setting up, every other day so that you can continue to oxygenate the tissue down there. And it just really helps, get that blood flow going.
What an awesome escape if you're a mom or a dad and you're like, oh, I've got to do the hydrotherapy. I'm sorry. And I got to disappear for an hour.
Yeah. Because most people are used to taking baths. We're like making baths cool again. Right?
Yes, come on.
People were like, oh, we'll just do a shower. But now we're giving you a reason because now in your own bathtub, you can oxygenate your body without just soaking it in water. So you can still use Epsom salt, just no essential oils or anything like that. So take your bath, put in some Epsom salt, let the oxygen kind of soak in, and you'll start feeling it depending on what you got, like a couple hours after, and especially that next day. If you got some chronic inflammation, it'll be almost be get out of there.
So you shared your dad's story, and you've shared some of the athletes. Are there any other really cool testimonials that are just it's been fuel for your fire?
Yeah. I mean, we have one lady. So we have a demo facility set up in our office at headquarters, and we've had people just call us up, say, hey, we don't have the price to pay for one right now. Can we just come in? And we had this one lady that was coming off of cancer. She had insane inflammation in her legs. She could barely walk. She had like back brace. So she came in and she couldn't walk. And she came back 2 days, and then that second day, she was out walking without crutches again. And so the inflammation had completely like left her body. And so it was like one of those tearful stories where you're just like, dude, like anytime you start a business, there's, ebbs and flows of like positive things that you're really excited about and the negative things that you just got to get through as a business owner.
Yep.
And so those stories and like those moments, you're like, this is why we're doing this. It's bigger than us just trying to make money. Like everything we're pretty much earning on buys right now is going back into making inventory and our new products because we see how much it's changing people's life. And so that's one story. And then the one where any skin condition where it's just like they just lose their self-confidence, they can't go anywhere because they have this insane eczema, psoriasis, getting rid of those. We've had people with insane funguses that are, I guess, tough to get away. Foot fungus, the finger fungus, people with ALS that couldn't move their hands. And now by soaking their feet, they're able to start moving their hands again.
Wow.
And that's just not even soaking their hands in their feet, hands in the water. They're in a bucket, in a chair, soaking their feet in. And that's a local guys here, Dr. Noah Moose. He sees a lot of people, and everybody he puts on the protocol is like Pulse PEMF, oxygen, and a few other red light and a few other things. But he's like, this has been a game changer for his clinic.
So let's talk about stacking then.
Yeah.
So do you do Pulse? Would you recommend Pulse before or after?
Yeah, so all our doctors, Dr. Bob Meyer, Dr. Noah Moose, Dr. Cormier, they are using Pulse first. So they're charging the body, getting it in there, or simultaneously. So they'll have the foot tub start soaking their feet while they're doing a Pulse PEMF on like a spot like a labrum or something else like that. But for the most part, they'll charge the body, and then they'll do like a 30 to 45 minute soak after that, and then finish it off with like a red light or QNRT or something else that they're using. But obviously, charging the body and getting those cells ready to receive that oxygen has been a major plus. So what we found is like, oxygenating the body's great, but it's just one thing. So if you can charge those cells beforehand and getting ready to receive that oxygen, so that by the time the oxygen is there, it has compounding effects where it's increasing the benefits. Because a lot of these docs have had Pulse PEMF for a while, and now they're like, okay, that's been great, but now we're introducing this new modality to increase oxygen through people's skin.
Come on.
Without having to go, breathing techniques. They're still using Vasper and some other things, HBOT, but they've seen like for the people that can't get into those conditions or that pressure or, whatever, this is another tool to oxygenate the body by soaking their feet in water or soaking in a comfortable bath. So it's exciting time to be in this biohacking space for sure.
Yes. Yeah. I was
Uh,
thinking about how Pulse increases the membrane permeability.
yeah, yeah,
And so it would make so much sense to do that right before.
yeah.
But thinking, oh, they could be in a chair pad with their foot in the
Yep,
foot bath
yep.
and it's happening simultaneously. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So
oh,
yeah, and one of our
Jason, I got to try this.
and one of our next products we are coming out with too is embedding a chair with the foot tub. So like imagine like you go to a nail salon and people used to soak in their feet. So
Yep.
imagine like a chair like that with these oxygen nanobubbles coming into like a little pod like that. So you can get other work done, Pulse PMF, red light, while sitting in this chair. Sound frequencies are another thing we're testing. So you stack all of those together, and yeah, it's just like the body's getting supercharged with all of
Wow.
this. Yeah, you give it, like I said, what it needs. All these basic elements, oxygen being one of them. The most vitality of life is breathing oxygen. And so when you're limited on your blood flow, and because you take in oxygen through your lungs traditionally, and it goes out through your bloodstream into the different areas of the body. So when there's conditions that limit that blood flow, like neuropathy, or if you're gaining that edge as an athlete and wanting to super oxygenate, that's where we see a lot of benefit.
You guys really are making baths cool again.
Yeah, yeah, that's our goal. So
Almost everybody's like, I don't have time for baths. I got showers. But for something like this, I think people might slow down actually and appreciate that.
Yeah, because I mean, it went from everybody was taking like warm baths with Epsom salt to cold plunging became a thing. People are still, some of our athletes are still cold plunging, but when you get in and you're actually oxygenating that tissue, that takes it to a whole nother level. It's not just contrast and expanding the blood vessels. Is actually getting them through your feet, not putting oxygen straight to your feet or straight to your ankle, straight to your leg, and that's kind of where we've seen a lot of.
So you've talked about some of the new that's going to be coming down the docket.
Yeah.
Do we have a timeline on when some of those travel ones are going to be available?
Yeah, so travel one, end of the year, we're really pushing out. We already have the hard shell case made up. Now we're just working on a few kinks, making sure the longevity of the product lasts. So we have an oxygen concentrator built into our devices, and then we run it through our nanobubbles. So the main thing that people are having to change out is after a while, there's a seed bed. And so you'll go from 98% oxygen down to 95, 90, 95. So removing humidity and everything from the system to make that seed bed last longer.
Right.
So right now we're getting about a year and a half before you change out this little filter.
That's great.
So we want to, elongate that and use that for our travel unit. But yeah, and then the foot chair, and then there's some other things for the home that we're bringing out. But the goal obviously is to get this, and as many people saying, just like you guys are, with the PMF, but trying to help people empower themselves at the home to, be able to take care.
Yes, because this generation, I think, is done with symptom masking, and they're ready to give the body what it needs so it can do what it was created and designed to do, which is incredible things, self-healing, self-regeneration. And so how can our viewers find out more about you and the company?
Our Instagram is Bimini Nano, which is Bimini, like nano for nanojet. And then our website's biminioxygen.com or Bimini Hydrotherapy. And yeah, we're on LinkedIn, Facebook as well. And yeah, my email, jason@biminihydrotherapy.com.
So if somebody wants to try like one of the higher ends, because they're in facilities right now and gyms and probably wellness spas and things like that. So is there a way that they can find a location near them? Where
so we're going to be putting a map on our website soon that has all the public locations, because a lot of them are private, either individual or sports facilities. But we are ramping that up for our doctors that are like, hey, we got this device here, or different clinics. So we're going to be mapping those out, and so people can go and find them online.
I love it. Well, we're meeting with the wellness warriors and the biohackers here at the intersection of innovation and impact. This is big minds with big ideas, and you're making it happen. So Jason, thank you so much for joining us on the PulseCast.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Thanks
appreciate again. You. And don't forget to follow them and find out when those new devices are going to be coming out. The frontier is really exciting of what's coming out. And while you're on socials, make sure you follow PulseCast to stay up to date with wellness tips, wellness hacks, exciting updates on what's happening on the biohacking frontier. We'll see you in the next conversation.